Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with aBlogtoWatch. Please subscribe to our videos on YouTube and like this video if you find it useful. This is a review of the Breitling Colt Skyracer, and I think it's my favorite new Breitling for 2017. And 2017 has been a pretty decent year for Breitling. They came out with the new version of the Super Ocean Heritage, both the chronograph and the three-hand version, which are pretty good, and that was a needed update. But this watch costs a lot less and is a pretty damn nice Breitling. The Colt Skyracer essentially has two important things, or three important things to mention. One, it's the least expensive watch to use the bright light case material. Get to that in a minute. It has a quartz movement, and it's, I don't know if it's the cheapest watch that Breitling makes, but it might be the cheapest watch Breitling makes. In fact, I almost think for sure that it's $2,000 bucks. Let's put it that way. And I'm thinking there are other watches that are quartz for sure. Are there any just three-hand quartz watches? There might be in the Colt collection, but I just can't see it being cheaper than this. I just think this is right now like the cheapest Breitling watch. I'm actually going to look right now. There's a Colt. Is there a Colt? Okay, the Colt Quartz. I'm trying to think if it has the same movement. I'm actually very curious because I think it actually makes a big difference if this is in fact the cheapest one. Okay, does it have the same movement as the Colt Quartz? Yes, the Breitling 74, which is basically an ETA thermocompensated quartz movement, which means it's a highly accurate quartz. So let's not confuse this with your run-of-the-mill quartz. This is a super quartz. So they have the same movements. The other watch I'm looking at, by the way, is just called the Colt Quartz, which, again, this is also in the Colt collection, but the Colt Quartz is in steel. The Colt Quartz is water is 200 meters. This is 100 meters. But that doesn't really matter. I'm trying to find the price here. Make it so easy to find the price. All right, let's see. The Colt Quartz on the strap. Yep, a lot more money. So the Colt Quartz on a leather strap is $2,765. Let's see on a rubber strap, which might cost a little bit less. $2,700 bucks. So basically, this beats the Colt Quartz in steel by $700. And frankly, I think this is a more interesting watch because if you really want to steal Breitling and it needs to, look that way, and you want to have a quartz movement, yeah, you can get the Colt Quartz, but this is a lot more interesting. It's a little bit bigger. The case is 45 millimeters wide. Pretty sure it's 45 millimeters wide. Was it 44 or 45? Sorry, this is like my eighth review of the night. I kind of like shove these together. It is 45 millimeters wide. I was not incorrect. Bright light is a carbon, but it can be machined very well. I'm just running my finger over the side here. It's very smooth. If I would have closed my eyes and I would have felt this, just given sort of the sharpness of the contours, I would think that it was definitely metal. It's not cold like metal. It's warmer to the touch. But it feels like the edges are as sharp as metal. It has a rotating bezel. Has a nice noise to it. There is a rather impressive loom pip here at the 60-minute hour mark. It's just nicely done how it's just in there. It looks very secure. Sometimes they just paint a piece there. This is like covered with something to prevent it from chipping. I just like that. Dial design is cool, super legible. You have there might be, arguably there might be a little bit too much red, but that doesn't bother me. Hands are the right size. If you look closely at the Arabic numeral hour markers, there's sort of a shadowing effect done that's in the printing. The movement battery lasts 8 years, is accurate to about 10 seconds per year. You have the date. One of the things I like, the crown is actually coated in rubber, which is nice. And when you pull out the crown, a little hard to tell here, but there's a red ring. And so sometimes people forget to screw back in the crown, and that red ring kind of reminds you, it's like, hey, something's up. And that's actually extremely common, people forgetting to screw in the crown. The Breitling material is great. I had hesitations about it when Breitling first came out with it, because it was on the most expensive watches. It was actually, I think, a different Avenger. It was like a giant one. It was like 50 millimeters wide. It was like $10,000 or $12,000. I'm like, this is a cool material, but it doesn't need to be so big. This one's much more wearable, much thinner case, so much more practical, and $2,000. And for that, I'm like, this is fantastic. The material also, when you take a look at it, has a nice amount of texturing and coloring. Even though it's perfectly smooth to the touch, it's not just like some boring brown plastic. It's got character to it. One more very interesting feature of the Colt Skyracer. Now, if you look at the strap, you'll notice that there's ruler markings on the strap. And you're like, okay, that's fun. It actually looks cool. But the strap has a special system that allows you to take it off and use it as a ruler. So you see what I did here? First, it snaps into place. That's how it stays all the time. But then you can unsnap it. Push down first. You put it through. You just take out the pin. Pull the strap through. This is great for washing it, which is convenient. I guess you could change the strap, but now, because you have the ruler, you can actually use this as a ruler and not do some awkward thing of taking the watch off and trying to make it flat. You just have a ruler, and you have a ruler on both sides. I'm actually curious the difference. Okay, so one is a ruler, and it looks like the other side is some type of a conversion table. It says kilometers on there. You know, I don't know enough about how to use this stuff. I like how it just says caoutchouc on there, which is sort of a high-end type of rubber. It's a nice strap. Buckle is titanium, so not bright light, but just nice dark titanium. Very nice buckle. There's very few watches that are $2,000 to have as nice of a buckle. Really nicely cut. So if you want to put the strap back, simple system. You just stick it back there. And, oops, I think I did it the wrong way. Yeah, I think it's like that. Or no. Which way was it? Oh, there we go. It's being stupid. Take the little bar. The problem is that you could lose this, right? Like you're in the field somewhere and you really need to measure something. Like, are you going to stick this between your teeth or something? It just needs a place to put it. Put that back. Pull it through. And voila. There you go. You have your strap back. That was easy. That required no tools of any kind. So let's put the watch on. And again, the lightness goes a very, very long way in making this watch comfortable. I actually wonder what other straps would be cool, because Breitling, as of now, doesn't sell any other straps for the Colt Skyracer. And if you have a quick release system like that, which I guess it's possible other Breitling watches have that system, I've just never seen it. But they didn't make a big deal out of it. So like when we were looking at the watches in Basel, I was just like, what's up with the strap system? They're like, oh yeah, that. It's cool. So there you see it on the wrist. I mean, it's just a watch guy's watch. It's legible, it's cool looking, it's functional. You know it's accurate. Okay, it's quartz, but it's not just any quartz. It's super quartz, and it's Breitling quartz. And Breitling is a brand that makes quartz. So it's allowed to be quartz. It's big on the wrist, but it's not too big. It's not very thick. Super comfortable on the strap. It doesn't go anywhere. It's like the tool watch that we wanted the high-end, big name brand industry to make. And they did it with this. And it was this quiet release called the Colt Skyracer that at first was just like, oh, another budget Breitling. No, this is the Breitling that they need to be making. This is the hit watch of 2017 for the brand. And I really hope that a lot of people discover this watch and put it on and realize that it is as cool as it is. And again, retail price is $2,000. So you can see the full review of the Breitling Colt Skyracer on aBlogtoWatch 6.